Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirrahmanirrahim. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. Alhamdulillahirrahmanirrahim. Today here it will be our fourth meeting for the second subject, especially for class of 2019, yeah, English Department, Faculty of Education, Muhammadiyah University of Jakarta, yeah, and then the subject here that we have for the fourth meeting it is qualitative and quantitative research method. And then in this fourth meeting, I'd like to give you guys the explanation based on uh, our main reference when we try to conduct a research. Yeah, when we try to conduct a research, especially for a student from English department, they have to use this kind of reference, this kind of expert here based on the research method. And then the expert here that I mean it is Creswell, yeah, John W. Creswell. That will be our main reference, our main uh, expert while trying to get the reference when we conduct a research, when you guys will conduct your thesis for your final project before you're going to graduate from English department, Faculty of Education, Muhammadiyah University of Jakarta. Yeah? And then the title of the book here is Research Design, yeah, and then Qualitative, Quantitative, and Mixed Method Approach, yeah. And our focus will be on two type of common research, especially for the first degree. Here it is qualitative kind of research, and then also quantitative research. Yeah, that also refer to the name of our subject here is qualitative and quantitative research method. One more time, this book here based on uh, the example based on a clear kind of explanation that uh, mentioned and also elaborated by Creswell. Yeah? And for this book, for the research design in here, starting with starting with first chapter. Yeah, first chapter here consists of several kind of uh, aspect. The first here is the selection of a research approach. Yeah. And then for the second chapter, it is review of the literature. And a review of the literature here is also will be your guys' second chapter when you try to create a research proposal or a thesis proposal. Yeah. And then the third chapter here, the use of theory. And then chapter 4 consists of writing strategies and an ethical consideration. And this book here consists of 10 chapters, but we are not going to discuss about mixed method procedure and then also uh, mixed method. Yeah, the thing that we call here mixed method, mix between qualitative and then quantitative research. Yeah. Okay, and then when we try to see the first chapter of this book, yeah, Creswell here come with the uh, selection of a research approach. Yeah, so first here is a selection of a research approach, and then according to Creswell, research approach are planned and the procedure for research that span the steps from broad assumption to detailed method of data collection, analysis, and interpretations. Yeah. So approach here, research approach, it's mean consists of the plan and then also the procedure here. How did we are going to complete the research starting from the beginning till we complete the research, till we have the result or the finding of the research. And then this plan involves several decisions. They need not be taken in order in which they make sense to me, and then their presentation here. And for this one, Creswell mentioned three different terms here. The first, it is called research design, yeah? And then second one here, it is research method, and then last one, it is research problems. Yeah. So these three uh, these three terms appear here when Creswell tried to explain about the selection of a research approach. Now let's start one by one, yeah, starting with the definition, I guess. Yeah. And then Creswell come here when he tries to give the definition, and then also come with a clear kind of perspective about the type of qualitative and then quantitative research here. Is mentioning often the distinction between qualitative research and then quantitative research is framed in terms of using words. Yeah, using words, it means it is a qualitative, and then rather than number or quantitative. We're talking about quantitative, it is about the quantity, and then when we talk about quantity, so it will be about the numbers. Yeah. And then that's the basic assumption, that's the basic distinction that we uh, commonly hear or understand when we discuss about qualitative research and then also quantitative research. Qualitative research here, it is referred to the words, yeah, using words, and then also quantitative research here refer to the use of numbers on it. Yeah? And then uh, a more complete way, yeah, based on Creswell, one more time here, a more complete way to view the gradation of difference between them, between qualitative and quantitative research here, it is in the basic philosophical assumption researcher bring to the study. Yeah, the type of research strategy used in research. For example, quantitative experiment. Yeah, if it is a quantitative, it will be in a form of an experiment, and then a qualitative here in a form of case study. Yeah, and the specific method employed in conducting this strategy. Yeah, so it is one more time. Still, we are discussing about the experiment on quantitative, and then also the case study on qualitative. Yeah? For the example here, collecting data quantitatively on instrument versus collecting qualitative data through observing a setting. Yeah? So we can see two different kind of data gathering. The first here is based on quantitatively on instrument. We are using the instrument, and then also yeah, of course it is a number that we are going to gather from the data, and then also here qualitative data through observing a setting. Yeah, the qualitative data we got it from doing an observation. Yeah? And then moreover, there is a historical evolution to both approach, with the quantitative approach here dominating the form of research in the social sciences from the late 19th centuries up until the mid 20th century. Yeah. So the first kind of dominating it is come from the quantitative kind of research, yeah, from 19th century until mid 20th century. During the latter half of the 20th century, interest in qualitative research increased, and along with it, yeah, so it's mean the first basic when conducting a research, especially on 19th century till mid of 20th century here, it is based on a research that conducted in a quantitative ways. Yeah, and then after the mid of the uh, 20th century, it arise, become more research that conducted using a qualitative kind of research. Yeah, and then here uh, the development of mixed method research. Yeah, and then also mixed method. Yeah, so the first it is a quantitative method, and then second one it is the qualitative kind of method or qualitative kind of research, and the last one uh, mixed method. But we are not going to discuss about the mixed method, because that's not for you guys for the first degree. Okay, now let's start with uh, the definition here that mentioning by Creswell one more time. Qualitative research is an approach, yeah, for exploring and understanding the meaning individuals or group ascribe to a social or human problems. Yeah. So a qualitative research here, it is one more time an approach dealing with trying to understand the meaning of individuals. Yeah, and then also a social or human problems. And then the process of research involves emerging questions and procedures. And there are several steps, there are several kind of pace that we have to do when we try to conduct qualitative research. And then next one, data in a qualitative research here typically collected in the participant setting. Yeah, so the participant setting, it's mean based on the group of people, the group of students that we conducted the research for, that become the setting of the data that we try to get the data. And then data analysis here inductively building from particular to general themes. Yeah, and this also the data that we try to gather from the uh, participant, from the setting that we have here, it is from a particular one, a specific one. Yeah, and then to the general themes, particular one, a specific one, to the general themes. Yeah, and then uh, and the researcher making interpretation of the meaning of the data. And then the main function of a researcher in a qualitative research here, he is the one or she is the one that giving the interpretation, yeah, based on the data that he gathered, and then based on the data analysis. Yeah, and then the final written report has a flexible structure. Yes, it's mean there are several kind of chance. Yeah, there are several kind of finding that we can try to make, we can try to deliver. Yeah, while we try to create a qualitative research, and then it is having a flexible structure. Yeah, and then those who engage in this form of inquiry support a way of looking at research that honors an inductive style, a focus on individual meaning, and the importance of rendering the complexity of a situation. So that's it, the definition of qualitative research based on Creswell. Based on this definition, we can see that the form of gathering the data, the form of the participant, and then also the role of the researcher when conducting a qualitative research here as the one giving the interpretation based on data finding, based on the data classifications. Yeah, and then the result or the finding of the qualitative research here consists of a flexible structures, that there are no no an absolute kind of structure that we try to make, that we'll try to put when we conduct a qualitative research. Yeah, okay, and then the second one, if the first we are talking about the data that usually is in a form of words, yeah, in a qualitative research, and then the second type here it is for the quantitative research. Now let's try to have a look at here the opinion from Creswell. Yeah, According to Creswell, quantitative research here is an approach for testing objective theories. So this is the main point of quantitative research, I guess. Yeah. So quantitative research here it is an approach for testing objective theories. Yeah. So you're going to test, making a test, or doing a test. Yeah, based on the objective theories by examining the relationships among variables. Yeah, that's also the difference between qualitative and then also quantitative research. When we try to mention about quantitative kind of research, so we'll find what we call by variable array. Yeah, uh, the variable that giving impact, yeah, and then variable that also become the source of the impact. Yeah, and then next one, these variables, one more time, variables in quantitative research here, in turn can be measured. Yeah, so we have to be able in measuring the variable that we created, that we make in our title when we try to conduct or when we try to create a quantitative research. And then typically on instruments, yeah, okay, we have the instruments so that number data can be analyzed using statistical procedures. Okay, this is also the main point when you guys try to conduct um, quantitative kind of research. Yeah, here it is mentioning that number data. Yeah, so if qualitative one, it is the data that in a form of words, while in a quantitative one here, data in the form of numbers. Yeah, numbers, and then number data here can be analyzed using statistical procedures. So you are going to conduct what we call by statistical procedures. Yeah, so a statistical kind of process you're going to measure based on the data finding, and then it is in the form of number, and then you're going to analyze it using the common one here is SPSS, yeah, and then any tools that you guys can use while doing a statistical analysis. Yeah, and then the final written report has a set structure consisting of introductions, literature and theory, method, result, and discussions. So we can see the difference. Yeah, the structure, yeah, the structure of the final report, yeah. For the qualitative research, it is a flexible structure. While when we do the quantitative kind of research here, we have a set. Yeah, we have a pattern. We have a set here. The structure has a set structure consists of introduction, literature and theory, method, result, and then discussion. And like qualitative researcher, those who engage in this form of inquiry have assumption about testing theories deductively. If it is on the previous one, a qualitative research, it is using what we call by inductively, yeah, from a specific one or particular one to the general themes. But while when we do the quantitative research here, it is the inquiry have assumption about testing theories deductively. So it is the opposite, from the qualitative kind of research. Yeah, and then building in protection against bias, yeah, controlling for alternative explanation, and being able to generalize and replicate the finding. Okay, so from those two definition that we got from Creswell about qualitative research, and then the second one about quantitative research, we can see several kind of distinctions, several kind of differences between the qualitative research and then also quantitative research. If it is qualitative research here, a form of data that we as a researcher try to give the interpretation here. It is in a form of words. Yeah, and then the main instrument in a qualitative kind of research here is the researcher itself. Yeah, and then we can see also the structure, the final report. When we conducted the qualitative research here, we have the flexible structure. While when we discuss about the quantitative research one, here we'll try to test a theory, test objectively a theories. Yeah, since we try to test and then objectively the theories here, so the number, yeah, the number as the data that we try to analyze here, we can conduct or we can make a statistical analysis on it. And then the common statistical kind of test you're using SPSS kind of test. Yeah, and then it will be in an apps in a program, okay, or a program that you guys can use. And then next one, when we try to discuss about the difference between qualitative research and then also quantitative research, qualitative research starting with what we call by specific or particular, from something that's specific, something particular, into what we call by general kind of themes. Yeah. So first it is a specific one, it is particular to the general kind of themes. Yeah. And then what about the quantitative one? Quantitative one here is the other side. If it is on qualitative, it is inductively, and then for the quantitative, here it is deductively. Yeah, starting from the general one, and then become here the specific one, become a particular kind of finding. And since in qualitative, here the main focus here on individual meaning. And then, while we try to discuss about the quantitative one, so it is about the power of the researcher to avoid bias. Yeah, that was mentioning, and then also controlling for alternative explanations. Yeah, controlling for alternative explanation, and then being able to generalize and then replicate the finding. Yeah. Uh, I guess that's all what I can explain for you guys for meeting here for qualitative and quantitative research method. Yeah, I hope after you guys watching this video, you're going to be able to have a comprehensive understanding of what we call by first here is an approach. Yeah, an approach consists of all process starting from the plan, procedure, data analysis, and then after the approach, you guys also really learn about what we call by a qualitative research and then what we call by quantitative research. Qualitative research and then quantitative research based on Creswell's opinion. And then I already give you guys the explanation and elaboration based on the Creswell book here, Research Design. Yeah. And I hope after you guys watch this video, you will also get your basic understanding how did you going to uh, differentiate, how did you going to give the distinction between a qualitative research and then also the quantitative kind of research. Yeah, and I guess for this topic here, it is a new one for you guys, the last one. If I'm not mistaken, when we had our second meeting, we already discussed about a basic definition of research, yeah, only the term research. And then today, guys, on your first meeting, you guys already learned about what we call by qualitative research and then what we call by quantitative research, and then the characteristic of each term, starting with the uh, qualitative research and then also the quantitative research. Yeah, And for next week you're going to have your first quiz, I guess, your first quiz for qualitative and quantitative research method. And then I hope you guys will watch all the videos starting from the first meeting, second meeting, third meeting, and then for this one, the fourth meeting. Because I'll try to get your guys' comprehension based on our four meeting, yeah, so far here for this subject, qualitative and quantitative research method. And then for the third meeting, I already asked you guys to leave your footprint and then also handprint, yeah, by using command or giving a question or giving any kind of the giving any kind of the response based on the third video that we had for the qualitative and quantitative research method. And then that will be the same also for this video. I hope after watching this complete video, you're going to give your own kind of summary, your own kind of sum up after watching this video. And then I hope there will be more students that will give their command or their opinion after watching these videos, because from the third video, from the third meeting of the qualitative and quantitative research method, if I'm not mistaken, it is only 34 of the students that giving the opinion and then giving their reaction after watching the video. And then I hope after you guys watch this video, we'll have more feedback from you guys, more question, and then also more opinion. Yeah. And thank you very much, guys, for watching. Let's hope next week you are going to be able in answering all of my questions, because that will be your first ever quiz for qualitative and quantitative research method. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching. Stay healthy and then stay safe. Uh, and then last one, don't forget to be an awesome student. And then last, Wallahul muwaffiq wal hadi ila sabilir rasyad. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Peace out.